Okay, I'm needing help with these math workshops. As soon as we get done with these math workshops, we will go ahead and start our quiz. And then when you get done with that, you can work on your workbook. If someone has their workbook handy, I can look at it. Those can borrow yours. Perfect. Okay, I had someone from third period come ask me a question during zero period, and it was a good one, but I feel like I need to clarify. So your assignment yesterday was page 41. Okay, and we talked about how to do discriminants yesterday, 2x2s and 3x3s. If you want to calculate the 2x2s by hand, of course, I think that's great. That's how I do it. If you want to do it in your calculator, that's going to be fine too. The issue is the directions above the 3x3s. We didn't learn how to evaluate using diagonals, did we? How did we learn how to evaluate? Yeah, so I'm going to change the directions to calculators if you want to change it. So literally you're just supposed to type 19 through 24 into, or 19, 20, 21, 22 into your calculator. But those directions using calculators were somehow confusing. And so if you were confused with that, I'm so sorry. Seriously, just put it in your calculator. Not that big of a deal. Okay, are there any questions from the workbook? Okay, then let's go over the math workshops and I will let you take your quiz. Your quiz is a fast one. If you don't finish by the end of the period, you are going to have to come to zero period. It is a fast one. If you haven't showed me your checkpoint, your workbook, your other workbook page, like whatever, and you need to show that to me today, that would be a great day for that as well. Okay, first period broke my heart in many ways. First way they broke my heart was they forgot how to deal with exponents with radicals. So hopefully you can rectify that. Lots of points to be given away right now. Can't promise there'll be lots of points later on, so you want to get them while you can. How do I break down 80? What times what is 80? 10 and 8 are 80, but neither of those are perfect squares. 4 and 20, yes, but there's a bigger one than 4. There's a bigger one than that. Oh, goodness.
Oh, 16 and 5.
God bless you, Angel. Get a point. 16 and 5. 16 is a bigger perfect square than 4. So we're doing 16 and 5. We'll come back to deal with those exponents in just a second. So I know the square root of 16. What is the square root of 16?
4.
So a 4 comes out. I still have a square root of 5 left under the radical. So 4 times 4 is 16. So my answer has a 16 and a square root of 5. But I've still got to deal with that q to the 12th and the g to the 2nd. Q to the 12th. When you bring it out, you have q to the what power?
6.
Yes, 2 and 5 can have a point. So it's 16 q to the 6th, and I need to know about the g.
Would it still say 2?
We bring it out. What would its exponent be? It would just be 1. And you can have a point for that, so it's just g. So we don't reckon 1. So our answer is 16 g to the 6th. 16 q to the 6th g square root of 5. Now the reason it worked out so nicely and none of the variables ended up under the radical at the end is why. Why did our final answer and we only had square root of 5 under the house? Why did no one else get left under the house? Because they were even. That's the word I'm wanting to go over. So they're even exponents. You can have the point for that. So our next one's going to have some sort of remainder because it's got an odd exponent. There's nothing I can do with 8. It's already outside the house. I'm just going to write it again. All I need to know is what to do with the k.
You would do 8k and then do k squared.
Yes, so 8k square root of k. I heard it first completely from Paige. She can have the point. I think Angel was almost there. She was so close. 8k square root of k. Perfect. And if you forgot how to do that, you can always, we had to do this first period, you can always list them out, k, 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 for k to the 3rd. Oh, ironically. You're the first person to get that. You can have a point. Okay, so I can pull out a pair, and then the one guy doesn't have a match, so he's left home. Okay, that makes me happy. Okay, number 11. 800, a to the 4th, b to the 11th. Tell me what and what is 800? 40 times 2 is 800, but neither 40 nor 2 are perfect squares. 8 and 100, but there's a bigger perfect square. 402. Yes, ma'am, and you get the point for that. 402, and well, I'll leave the 8 to the 4th be the 11th alone for a second. What is the square root of 400? 20, so it's 20 and a square root of 2. Tell me about the 8 to the 4th be the 11th. 8 to the 2nd, thank you, Karen. I believe that's what you were trying to say. You just left off a 0 page.
It's 11, so you're going to have to do something else.
So b to the 5th, and then when there's a b left under the house. Yes, Gilberto. So you can have a point for that. So I back down. So b to the 11th is odd, like Angel's saying. So I know there's going to be one left. I back down 1, that's 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5. That's why it's b to the 5th. So 20a squared, b to the 5th, square root of 2b. Okay, and then last but not least, number 12, 289. What times what? Yes, ma'am. 17. It is a perfect square. Bless you for recalling that. And you can have a point for that. And now to deal with that d to the 0, e to the 5th, f to the 9th. Why? And anything to the 0 power is 1. Anything to, if it was 0, then everything would be 0. The entire answer would be 0. Anything to the 0 power is 1. So Paige is right, and I was going to give her a point because you do get to delete it. But instead, the point has to go to Gilberto because he understands anything to the 0 power is 1. That's why we're deleting it, because it's just 1.
So we couldn't just leave it D?
No, because it was d to d0. If you leave it just d, it implies d to the 1. Okay, so that was one trick. So this one was a tricky one. I now need to know about the e to the 5th and the f to the 9th.
You would just bring out 4, right?
E to the 2nd, f to the 0. E to the 2nd.
Say what you're thinking. Thank you. And you can have 2 points, and everybody else can have a point. So it's 17, e to the 2nd, f to the 4th, square root of EF. Perfect. And that is that for that math workshop. We're going to do the next 2 at least tomorrow. To be honest, you might as well go ahead and have the other factoring ones prepared as well, because knowing me, I'm going to go crazy with that. Someone last period asked me a sad question, because clearly I talk to myself sometimes. There are no determinant questions on this quiz, which we discussed yesterday. There aren't any. Okay, clean off your desk. You don't need anything except a pencil and a calculator, which, of course, I'm going to have to hand to you in just a hot second. Hey, will you pass this out? Cooper. I hear you.